Right, Bruchim Aboyim, welcome everyone. I guess I should adjust my tie if I'm going to be on the camera like this, right? Straighten out, make it look nice. So anyway, I got a lot of great feedback about the Breslover Torah we did last week. It seems like it was forever ago. How time goes fast and slow at the same time. But anyway, I'm doing the same thing, except I'm picking a much shorter Dvar Torah. And again, from last week's Parsha that we read yesterday, Parshas Beshalach, at least last week it hit on both Bo and Beshalach, but was mostly about Bo. So in the end of Parshas Beshalach, we have the war with Amalek. And in the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 12, it says, Vayehi Yadav Emuno Ad Bo Hashamesh. And his hands were faithful until the sun arrived, meaning the sun rose or set or whatever it was. So anyway, Zok the Heilige Rabbeinu Nachman ben Fegel ben Breslov Schusig Leinem Al Kol Yisrael Amen. Ki yesh kama minei emunah. There are many different types of emunah. Emunah we usually translate as faith, but it's more of a term of faithfulness, of trustability, and also in more or less a sense of professionalism. That someone is known to be like an uman, is someone who has demonstrated his abilities. And so our emunah in God, our faith in God, is because he's demonstrated, particularly through the Exodus and the revelation at Sinai that we're reading about this coming week. But the truth is there are many different types of faith and trust. Yesh emunah shu rak b'lev. There's a type of faith that's only in the heart. But really, a person has to have so much faith. It's not just in the heart or in the mind, but rather that it spreads out to all of one's limbs, to one's entire body. As is brought in the writings of Rabbi Isaac Luria, the great Kabbalistic thinker, pretty much when we speak of Kabbalah today, even though there are other types of Kabbalah, it's the Lurianic Kabbalah that is the main type of Kabbalah, the main type of Jewish mysticism. One of my Rebbeim was a Breslover Chosed. He says, but he also has a Sephardic approach to a lot of things, particularly in Halacha. And he says if it's not, he says in the Sephardic traditional view, if it's not in the Zohar, if it's not in the Ari, then it's not Kabbalistic. So anyway, it's cited in the writings of the Ari, which of course the Ari did not write. Rabbi Chaim Vital wrote for him, but Rabbi Chaim Vital had his own writings as well as what are called the Kisvei Ari. And in his own writings, he actually was much more eclectic and grabbed onto many different types of Kabbalistic teachings. But anyway, it's brought as a matter of practical halacha, that when you wash your hands, you have to lift your hands up near your head. Why? Kedei lekabel hakdusha. And the Ariya Kodesh says that by lifting up your hands near your head after you wash your hands, you're receiving the holiness, sanctity. So that shows you need to have faith that is held within your hands, that extends into one's hands. You have to believe that because you're lifting up your hands near your head, you're receiving the holiness. Because if you don't believe in it, it doesn't mean anything, right? We have to have faith. Faith is why we do all this stuff we do, right? Why are you putting on tefillin and tzitzis, all these things? Why? Just to fit in? Just to be part of a culture, just to be part of a heritage? No. It's because we believe in God, and we believe that God gave these things to us that we have to do, and that's why I have to keep Shabbos and kosher and everything else as an expression of our faith. It's not just about what you do. You have to believe that what you're doing means something. You know, I remember, I think it was Rabbi Alavsky, the Shlita, should be well, on the inside. He said he was at an airport somewhere, and he said, he learned in Chavetz Chaim, so he follows the minhag that they do in Chavetz Chaim to keep your tzitzis tucked in Yeshivas Chavetz Chaim in Queens. And he said one of the strings was sticking out of his shirt, out of his pants. And there was a lady at the airport. She said, "Oh, there's a string sticking out of her pants." And he explained, "Yeah, it's a religious significance." And she said, "Oh, it means something." And it's true. Do we think about it? But we have to think about all these things. And not only is that the case with the mitzvahs that we're commanded, that we have to do, that we're required to do, like tefillin and tzitzis and Shabbos and kosher, which are just basically extensions of our faith. So it's not necessarily that you have to have so much meditation on what they mean when you're doing them. I'll tell you the opposite way. So Rabbi Weinberger, I don't know why I'm talking about tzitzis. Rabbi Weinberger's on his own side. He said, he was a younger man. He was in the mikveh of Lai Place in Queens, very holy mikveh. That's where my wife was Megayer. A lot of my friends were Megayer. And we hope two of our friends that we were Megayer there, they should come back to Yiddishkeit in the schus of this learning. So Rabbi Weinberger, he said that he was there in the mikveh, and there was Eid came in from the Kabbalah Center, from Philip Berg's, I don't want to say cult, and the fellow, he was wearing like white robes and something, and as he was disrobing, literally, they noticed he didn't have tzitzis on. And Rabbi Weinberger said he didn't want to say anything. There was one old Yid there, Holocaust survivor, and said, "Ni is on tzitzis," where. So then the fellow, he didn't know what the guy was saying, he didn't understand Yiddish. So Rabbi Weinberger said this gentleman wants to know why you're not wearing tzitzit. And then he said very austerely, he said, "We have not yet learned the mystical meditation of the fringed garment." So Rabbi Weinberger said, you're already holding by walking around with white robes. You have to have tzitzis. You're not going to fly away anywhere without tzitzis, right? So you have to do the basics. Anyway, certainly something which is a mystical interpretation, like lifting up your hands by next to your head.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto State Route 55 East.
Washing before bread, that is not a requirement in the same sense, but it is something that halachically we should do. And the Ariya Kodesh explains that it's in order to receive holiness.
Take the next left onto State Route 55 East.
He said if you don't believe in this, it's nothing. I'll say the same thing. One other thing I saw from the Ariya Kodesh is that when you're saying Aleinu and you're bowing, that by the bowing you're bringing down the Or Ein Sof.
Continue on State Route 55 East for 4 miles.
By the other bowing that we do, like by Shemona Esrei. So again, you have to believe in that when you're bowing, you're bringing down the Or Ein Sof, the light of the endless light of God, primordial light. Anyway, if without faith it's nothing. Kasuv, as is written, Psalm 119, Kol mitzvosecha emunah. All of thy commandments are faith. All the mitzvos, all of Hashem's, first of all, they're mitzvosecha. They're God's commandments. It's not just something nice we do. They're something we do because God commanded it. And they are faith, meaning you could translate it as that the commandments are faithful, but the commandments themselves are faith. Meaning, that's how we express our faith. People often wonder, they often claim that Judaism cares more about deed than creed. But the deed is all about the creed. So anyway, when you have this type of faith, it goes from the level of faith to the level of intelligence. And the more one holds himself stronger in faith, he becomes more and more intelligent. His actual intelligence increases. Because something that at first you just needed to believe was kind of almost like blind faith. When you get to a higher level of faith, then you understand that first thing in an intellectual way, in a rational way, and that's the truth. And a lot of it comes just from living it. Meaning, the story that they say is like, if you give someone a book, was it Diane Grunwald wrote a book about Shabbos, Hilchos Shabbos, and in English, he gives that to someone. He gives someone the Shmir Shabbos Kilchus, and they also translate to English, or the Lamates Malachos, they translate to English. You give someone this book and they can read it. All right, gesundheit. And they can understand it intellectually. All right. Even self-called self, you give a more mystical and meditative book like A.J. Heschel's The Sabbath. Very Hasidic style, All right, so you read the book. All right. So you say the Sabbath is our greatest cathedral. All right. So you read it in a book. Until you keep Shabbos, you don't understand it. Maybe you believe it. Then once you express that belief through deed, and it goes from your heart to to every part of your body through observance, right? Oh, then you know. Then it's not just a book you read. It's not just something you believe in your heart. It's something that you understand. It becomes knowledge, and it becomes something that's even rational. And the thing is you could read all of the apologetics also. You could listen to Rabbi Victor Miller. You could learn the Kuzari and the Rambam Hilchos Yisodei Torah and Rabbi Kellerman L'chaim Tovim, and you read these books. And the truth is, I think if I would have read Rabbi Kellerman's books before I was frum, it wouldn't have had as much impact as once I was already frum. Right? And not that I'm so frum, not that I'm even frum now, but you know what I mean. I was trying, I was starting to keep Shabbos, Baruch Hashem, probably kept it better then than I do now. I don't know, maybe I didn't know as much, maybe now I'm keeping it better because I know. I don't know. I don't know anything. But anyway, because the heart is open through the experience, it changes the whole life. Stephen Hill, one of the first Bali Tshuva, famous Bali Tshuva, he just, he came in, Simchas Torah, to square, whatever. I've heard different versions of the story. And there he is, and he experiences Shabbos, a Yontiv. It's Gevona ganze Yid. I remember seeing him because I was friendly with his son, by Zayn Nichols Chasna. So Zayn, a Yid with the Beketsha in Hamburg, who was, a big TV star, movie star, I don't know, star, actor, very, successful and choshuv, but a Yid, a real Yid, a real Erlich Yid, Talmud Chacham, a boile Yid. We should all be zeicha to that. So anyway, V'zeh shekosov b'Moshe. So this is what the scripture tells us about Moses. V'yehi yadav emunah. And his hands were faith. Not just his hands were faithful, his hands were faith. Moses had such great faith that it spread out to all of the limbs of his body. Shafilu biyadav haya emunah. Even in his hands there was faith. And we know Yadayim Yadei Esav, the hands of Esau. No. By Moshe Rabbeinu, because of the Kol Yankov Segavarn, the Yadayim were also emunah. That's a higher darga. It's a higher level. That his hands were expressions of faith. Shafilu biyadav haya emunah. The faith also existed there in his hands. Kol kach gadol, and it was so great. Ashaboya Shamish, until the sun came. Hainu haseichel shaladavar. The intelligent understanding of that thing. The Shemesh hu bechinas chochma uve'etzleinu, because the sun is an archetype of wisdom, as we explained before, meaning by us, by means, meaning in the first Torah in Likutei Moharan. Thank you.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto New York 17B East, State Highway 17B.
Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. Ritz Hashem, we'll see you next time. Hit the bell button if you didn't hit it yet. And if you enjoy these videos, please share with your friends. We'd like to
take the next right onto New York 17B East, State Highway 17B.
I have a big goal this year that this channel should take off. There are people who make a good parnasa just from Facebook. I don't know if they're putting in any more hishtadlus or less hishtadlus.
Continue on New York 17B East for half a mile.
I just want to put in the Hagerer Haroi Nachon, like the Rebbe Melech said, and it should come in the Shemayim, the Mon in the Shemayim. We should be zeicher that it shouldn't need to put in too much effort. We're learning together, and I just hope and pray that Hashem should bless this channel, that we should be able to be Marbitz Torah. That's the Iker. It's much more important than the money. But it would be very nice if this channel got monetized. So we get a few dollars here and there. And
in a quarter mile, turn left onto State Route 55 East, Swan Lake Road.
And like the Rebbe Zisha, he would say, "Unwünschen sehr Kind soll sein, gesund und stark wie a goy." It should be healthy and strong. Well, I like someone who...
At the light, turn left onto State Route 55 East, Swan Lake Road.
There's no reason why he doesn't do anything to deserve God's grace. God just gives it to him for free.
Continue on State Route 55 East for 3/4 of a mile.
So I know this channel doesn't deserve to be successful. I know I don't deserve the channel to be successful. Well, what's the big deal if it's successful, right? Like Tevye on Fiddler on the Roof, right? Does it hurt? I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't use the money for the right things. So that's where it comes. So I gotta do tshuva. We all gotta do tshuva, and also I gotta be humble. We all gotta be humble. I know I don't deserve what I'm so thankful for anybody who does watch this channel. I know we have wonderful, wonderful viewers. We love you all, and I really thank you for whatever it is that we get from each other, from learning together. So, and we should be zoicha to that title. Rabbi Nachman ben Fegus Chusigolino ben Breslov always says you have to make every turn to a tefillah. So we should be worthy to this level of faith. I was saying something with Rebbe Melech, also from last week, etc. But we should be, and I think we've said it over in past years, but the point that I'm bringing out is we should be able to get to that level of Dveikus, that we have faith in that extends throughout all of our Machavar Mashisagida, and all of our 360, all over 240.
In 1,000 feet, slight left onto Horseshoe Lake Road.
Sinews, and we should live the Torah way, and then come to Seichel and understand this not only as a matter of blind faith, but of knowledge and love of God. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. We'll see you later. All right, how do I turn this thing off?